Greetings, fellow sentients. I am the observer assigned to your unit, Zur announced with enthusiasm. The response was a mix of grunts, indifferent gazes, and mild confusion. Unfazed, Zur continued. I am thrilled to be part of this mission and eager to observe you humans in action. One of the humans, a lieutenant with a single silver bar insignia on his shoulder, asked, Why? I have read every treatise and dissertation on human warfare. Your species' approach is utterly fascinating, Zur replied. Fascinating? I've heard that nearly every species in the galaxy engages in warfare. Isn't it all pretty much the same? The lieutenant countered, skepticism evident. No, Zur insisted. You humans have achieved something I have not seen documented anywhere else. The lieutenant's curiosity piqued. He leaned in closer. Despite the primitive nature of your weaponry, I learned that certain weapons are deemed unacceptable, so much so that they are banned under interstellar treaties. Right, the lieutenant nodded. We do that with particularly horrific weapons, but we've been careful. He paused as another soldier approached with a message. Lieutenant, we've got flash traffic, the soldier announced. Looks like we have work to do, the lieutenant said, waving a hand dismissively at Zur as he began issuing commands for preparation. Zur observed intently as the humans boarded the transport, noting their efficiency. Once aboard, the transport took off, and Zur began taking notes, trying to document the unfolding events. Listen up, the lieutenant shouted, gathering everyone's attention. A British rifle company has been pinned down in a blockhouse for 2 weeks. The enemy's strength is estimated at battalion size. The Brits finally asked for our help. As the lieutenant spoke, Zur examined the rank insignia of the sergeant standing nearby, 3 chevrons above 2 rockers, indicating a high, non-commissioned officer. We're to land on the enemy's far side and act as a hammer to the Brits' anvil, the lieutenant continued. Remember, fighting will be close, hard, and fast. He pointed directly at Zur. You, observer, stay close but behind us. Avoid the line of fire. Zur intended to argue, but decided against it, realizing that the lieutenant was already ignoring it. Instead, it focused on the humans' equipment. Each carried a magnetic charge rifle instead. Of the chemical propellants used in earlier human warfare, many also had smaller sidearms, referred to interchangeably as handguns or pistols. Before Zur could inquire about the weapons, the transport landed and the humans quickly disembarked, forming up and advancing toward the enemy with minimal communication. Their practiced efficiency was evident. Initially, the battle unfolded like a typical engagement. However, Zur quickly noticed the truth behind the rumors of human resilience and their ability to withstand battle damage. It struggled to keep pace with the humans, relieved it had decided to hang back. As they advanced, the humans maneuvered into the enemy's defensive positions. Once in tight quarters, many switched to alternate long guns, while others drew their sidearms. Zur learned later that the smaller weapons were easier to maneuver in confined spaces. The humans' magnetic weapons weren't silent, but were relatively quiet. Zur's auditory sensors easily picked up the sounds of rifle and handgun discharges. These were quickly drowned out by the loud cracks of projectiles breaking the sound barrier. Just as Zur began to wonder why the humans would switch to larger weapons instead of the smaller ones, it witnessed 2 enemies stepping around a corner into the hallway. One of the humans fired several rounds from his pistol, and Zur could barely hear anything after the first shot, because the following weapon emitted a loud boom, accompanied by a rapid click-clack. As they pushed further into the enemy defenses, Zur noticed an increasing number of boom-click-clack sounds and fewer of the quieter discharges typical of other human weapons. The air filled with the smell of ozone, familiar to Zur from human weapons, but another odor lingered, one it couldn't quite identify. Smoke filled the air as well. Wait, Zur thought, are these the chemically powered firearms I've read about in my studies of human warfare? That thought was interrupted by another boom, click, clack as they pressed forward. The enemy, now cornered, had no way out and found themselves under fire from 2 sides. The humans, equipped with their loud weapons, held their ground, forcing the enemy into a tight spot. Zur observed intently, noting how the humans switched back to their rifles as soon as the enemy closed the distance. It watched as the humans continued to unleash their firepower, the boom, click, clack echoing through the hallways. Curiosity grew within Zur as it witnessed the brutal efficiency of the humans' weaponry. Bodies fell, and the sounds of chaos engulfed the area. the pungent smell of burnt ozone mixed with the acrid odor of smoke, creating a sensory overload. Amidst the tumult, Zur noticed a disturbing trend in the aftermath. Those who fell to the loud long guns had massive entrance wounds, while those hit from moderate distances bore several smaller holes. It had never seen anything like it before. Turning over the fallen bodies, Zur recorded its observations, noting the gruesome nature of the injuries. As the fighting subsided, what was left of the enemy decided to surrender. The humans from different units began to converse, clearly relieved. "Good thing you showed up when you did. We were running low on ammo. Thought we'd have to send the little guy out there to talk to them," one soldier joked, motioning toward a small-statured man armed with a large curved knife. The human from Zer's group, sporting 3 chevrons and 2 rockers, chuckled. Now, that would be unfair. Zer, however, did not find humor in that fact. "You misunderstand, mate," came the retort from the British woman in the group, eyeing the captured enemies. "What do you mean?" Zer interjected, eager to understand. "It's unfair to send him against an army," the Brit replied. Zer had expected a different reaction and asked, "What do you mean by unfair?" The British woman turned to the other human, asking, "Who's this joker?" "Military observer," the lieutenant replied, still chuckling. "Supposed to be some book-smart expert on human warfare." "Some expert?" the Brit replied dryly. "I'm here to learn," Zer interjected, trying to explain. "There are things you can only learn by being in the thick of it," the woman stated. "Like what?" the man asked in unison with the woman. "Like these weapons," Zer said, pointing at the shotgun the human male carried. "I understand humans have banned weapons for being too horrific. I've seen the wounds these weapons inflict. How are they not banned?" "Funny," the man replied. "The Germans asked the same thing. I guess you Yanks just had better lawyers," he joked. "Good one," the British woman said, rolling her eyes. "If that's what it takes to avoid drinking the piss water you Yanks call beer, then sure, Gunny, I'll buy the first round." Zer pondered how humans could consume nearly anything. As the conversations continued, it spent the rest of its time observing the human military unit, trying to grasp how a weapon like the shotgun had not been banned by the humans. Despite the questions left unanswered, Zer recognized the complex dynamics of human warfare. It learned that the shotgun was a tool, one that revealed the darker aspects of human nature. As the soldiers laughed and shared stories, Zer realized that its understanding of warfare was deepening with each observation, and perhaps it would find the answers it sought in the chaos of the battlefield. Zer considered starting a petition to ban the shotgun in interstellar warfare, but knew it was just one being amidst countless lives intertwined in this brutal tapestry of existence. With the battle still fresh in its mind, Zer stood ready for the next encounter, eager to learn, observe, and comprehend the complexities of humanity at war.